Okay, we are live. Okay. Welcome Hammond North. It is May 21st at 4 p.m. and a special meeting of the board. A little bit, we're in different places. Jan, can you admit people who come in?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. So the call to order would be Gil Patton,
Here.
Jan Welch,
Here.
Tim Fritz,
Here.
Randy Vaughn,
Here.
Chris Conti,
Here.
Tracy Smiley.
Here.
Okay, we have all seven. All right, thank you.
I don't see where I can admit everybody again. I did it once, but I'm sure there's some other people waiting.
Yeah, your reception is not that great. Randy, I can make Randy co-host.
I think I already am, because
Good.
I've admitted a couple of people.
Good. Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just, sorry, my screen just changed. Bear with me 1 minute. Okay, so we have one order of business, which is discuss the sales agreement, the draft sales agreement with Mike Stacy. So I'd like to start with, there were three items. There were the last three items that we had said to Mike and the outcome of that. And then we should vote on how to proceed on those three items. And after that, then we'll entertain motions to whether we accept the PSA. So the first one that I have in the order of the PSA, which of course, when we sign off on the PSA, we will post that on the website. And the first one that I have is section 401 on closing. On that, what the owner should know is that there's a 90-day period of entitlement. Then the buyer, Mike Stacy, has a 90-day period that he can extend the entitlement period, a total of 180 days. And after that, the draft contract from Mike had 60 days to close. And the board was requesting 30-day periods after entitlement to close under a mutual agreement. So that is the point. So now I'll ask if there's a motion about that so we can have discussion. Chris, you had your hand up?
Yeah. So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on
second.
this? Yes, Jan seconds. Chris,
Would you explain?
So
wait, Jan. Yeah, Chris.
Would you explain and define entitlement? Because I'm sure a lot of people aren't familiar with that one.
Without getting the whole text and reading it, because it's a long paragraph. Oh, well,
Yes.
Jan has her hand up. Go ahead, Jan.
well, it was I think maybe the same thing Chris is asking, but just summarize for people how long that takes in total to be able to close. Because you said it's entitlement is how long with the option to extend, and then add that on to then the extra days so that we know the entire amount of time.
Okay, so it's 90-day entitlement period. And then at the buyer's decision, it can be extended for an additional 90 days for a total of 180 days for entitlement.
So that's
the entitlement period, 180.
and then
Jan, you froze, Jan. Okay, Jan will try to log on again. Randy, if you can look and see when she logs on again so we can get her on the main board there. Oh, wait. Jan, you're back. So it's 90 days and 90 days, total of 180 days, and the closing is 60 days. We requested 30-day mutual agreement to
I didn't know
close.
I left, but okay. We've got some unstable connection. Yeah.
Right. And what I would just say about the entitlement period, it's a period for the buyer, Mike Stacy, to be sure he has all the permits or any zoning changes. That's the basic part of it. There's more legally. If anybody else on the board would like to elaborate on that, if they have it handy, I do not.
And financing.
And financing, I believe the financing also is in another section that we agreed to.
So that's a total of 8 months, correct?
That is a
No.
total of 240 days.
Yes, 8 months.
It's 6 months entitlement and then 60 days to close, total of 240 days from when we sign it. Any other comments about this?
Marion has her hand.
Sorry. Okay, from the board. Okay, can we unmute Marion? All right, Gil, let's
Gil's
pick
hand
Gil.
is up.
Yeah, let's
What is the
pick-
motion that Chris made?
Chris, would you like to repeat it?
Well, the motion was to accept the PSA from Mike Stacy. Is that correct?
Well, I began with there are 3 issues that were the final issues I think the owners need to understand, and I thought we were going to vote on each one. If we want to
Okay.
vote on the PSA, then that's a different motion that I consider. If you want to withdraw your motion and make your motion to accept it, that's that. We can also talk about I think we should also talk about the other 2 major items. What do you want to do, Chris?
I will withdraw my motion because I thought I was making a motion to accept the PSA. So I am unclear what we are discussing at this point.
Marion, hold us a second. Gil?
I think we should vote on the entire PSA. Everybody in this board knows what the points were, and we know what our position is. We need to vote on whether we're going to accept this PSA or not.
Sorry, I can't raise my hand, but I agree to that, but I think the owners need to know what the other points are, and we just vote on it now.
Discussion, yeah. 2 people, somebody moves, and then there's a second, so then we can discuss it, right?
Right.
So Chris,
Exactly.
would you like to, or anybody else, have a motion to accept the PSA as written with the last changes that we requested withdrawn from it, which I sent around to the whole board has that.
I'll make
the
that motion.
Whoop.
Okay,
Sorry.
Gil makes a motion. Sorry, Tracy?
I had my hand up, but go ahead, Gil.
I'm just saying I make that motion that we accept Mike's PSA without the changes that we had proposed in sections 401, 503, and 1411.
Okay. Randy, you had your hand up?
I was going to second that motion.
Randy seconded. Okay, so now we'll open up for discussion about the whole PSA.
John, you
Anybody
mentioned-
have any comments to make about the whole?
Yeah, so we talked about the time period. Do we want just to give a high level update of what the other 2 points were, just so we can move on?
Sure. Does anybody want to summarize that, or I could do it? Okay, my internet is coming and going. Hopefully, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the second one, I believe, was section 503. 503 was a question of permitted exceptions in the title search. And this went back from originally in the draft PSA, originally was Mike Stacy was 60 days. We proposed 45 days. Then it was 9 days. We went to 60 days. And
Uh-oh, you froze.
was on petition. There, we
Hey,
were
John,
concerned about the overlap with partition.
Don, you can
Okay.
hear for about a minute.
We have a discussion about our reception here for a second. I'm seeing John's internet very unstable, and I'm getting a message that mine is unstable. So how are other people on the board experiencing that? Because I think we might have to switch off on who's chairing it if we can't have stable. So
I think that we
Go
I
ahead.
think we should all communicate when it's unstable. I think we have to make a decision, and as best we can, if we think we're not being heard, we should ask everybody. I thought I had logged off, then I came back on, without anything that I had done. Anybody else have thoughts on the board?
Are you
Okay.
asking if we should
I'm
postpone this?
frequently not hearing you.
Be quiet, Jan.
We were just having a discussion and the
No.
motion's on the floor.
Just maybe Tim should chair it. If everybody else is hearing John okay, then
Should I proceed or should I hand the chair off?
We hear you fine, John.
Okay, I'm going to continue
I'm
then.
hearing
Go ahead.
everything.
maybe it's mine.
Okay, Jan, you may want to consider logging off and logging on your phone rather than a computer, but that's up to you. It may be better.
Okay.
Okay, so the
Maybe
last
I'll
one
do
was
that.
the overlap with the petition, section 14.11. And on that one, we wanted to propose language that basically would have said that if we had a sale through petition, that we had the ability to terminate the contract and go through with petition. But as we said, all three were rejected. Those were the three suggestions. Are there any comments by the rest of the board? Tim?
I don't think anybody heard. I didn't hear the second. You cut
The
out.
second one was a question of the permitted exceptions for the title search. I don't think it pertains to the actual title search because it was to happen before closing. And it went back and forth a number of times, ended up that it's going to be 90 days. And that's from signing of the contract.
And so
Right.
that's incorporated in the entitlement period, right?
I believe it's a separate sections, 5.03.
Let me restate. That is then running concurrent with the entitlement period. Is that correct?
Yes.
Due diligence is a period of due diligence. It's also concurrent with the entitlement period.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are there if there aren't any other board comments, I'll turn it over to Marion.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Since I'm not making the decision, have you looked at the issue of what do we gain by agreeing to these and signing yes with the PSA? What could we lose by, I guess I want to be sure that you've extended beyond just making an immediate decision, the pros and cons of going this way. And that's it. That's my question.
Mary, and that's what we have been doing for the past, I can't even say, week to 10 days, probably going back and forth on this, having meetings on a daily, if not a several times daily meeting. We've had interactions and interchanges with Mike Stacy probably every other day. We've been in contact with our attorneys several times a day. Mike's been in contact with his attorneys on a regular basis. That's all we've been doing for the last at least 10 days, maybe 2 weeks.
Great. I'm pleased to hear that. Thank you.
Okay, is that Michelle, CET?
No, it's Carolyn. So
Sorry, Carol.
that's okay. So here's my question, and it wasn't clear when you were bringing this about. So the entitlement period, is it up to 90 days or is it an absolute I get 90 days no matter what. So if I get this done before 90 days is over, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with my closing, or is it 90 days and then we close? So do you see what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
I can see where up to 90 days would be reasonable, and I guess with an extension. So that's my one question. And then the other question is, if this 90 days of entitlement is probably to mostly make sure that he gets all of the oh, I can't think of the things that will allow him to do the changes or grandfathered in, the changes that the city says he has to make, and he says he was grandfathered. Is that what that 90 days is for?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it also is up to 90 days. Mike has stated his intention very straightforwardly that he plans to move as quickly as he can. But he has asked for a 90-day entitlement, up to 90 days, and up to an additional 90 days if he has some things that he hasn't been able to get done.
Okay, and then let me ask you this question. Do you know the status or because do you know the status of where he is with getting the permits and whatever grandfather clauses? Has he shared that with you, or is he not able to get it because he hasn't got a signed contract yet?
We
That's
cannot,
the case.
he cannot have a meeting with the city until he has a signed PSA. So that's why we're trying to get this PSA signed. And he has told us that within a week or two, he will set up a meeting. We have told him that we will cooperate in any way possible in that meeting. But that's really where we are right now. He needs a signed PSA before Art Dahlberg will talk to him.
Okay, all right. Well, and I mean, just listening to this, since it's not just I've got 90 days or whatever, I don't have a problem with this. And the thing is that we don't have anybody else out there buying this. And I posted on the internet. Here's the thing that the owners need to realize. And if you don't look on the internet, if this goes to the court and the court says, okay, this is $12 million and there's no bidder, it goes to a sheriff's sale. It can sell for $8,000. If nobody bids on it at the sheriff's sale, the court can pick whatever amount it wants to sell the building for. So right now we have a bird in the bush, a bird in the hand, and we don't have and with the I'm using my a bird in the hand rather than a bird in the bush, and the partition is the bird in the bush.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Carolyn.
I know. There you go. I'm done.
Thank you.
I think we answered Carolyn's questions.
That's right.
Steve,
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, in light of last week's meeting, we never got a report as to what happened with the turn to the judge to see if the partition could be delayed and all of that stuff.
That's another thing that we've been meeting with our attorneys over and discussing, because there were clauses that were potentially going to be included in the PSA about the partition. Through our discussions with our attorneys, we feel like we've eliminated those issues. Gil, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, Tim. We just got an email back from one of our attorneys that's working on that. And they are trying to set up a meeting with the judge. Haven't been able to, just got that, so I don't know when that's going to occur. I know part of the issue was that in these situations, the judge can't talk to just one side. All the attorneys have to be aware of the discussion and have the opportunity to participate in that discussion. So they have to notify, somebody used the term 50. I don't think there's quite 50, but there's a lot of attorneys that are attached to that. partition. So that's part of the legal process, and that why there's a delay in getting us an answer.
The good
Not
news,
surprising.
Steve, the good news about this is our lead attorney at Finney, Chris Finney, has a lot of experience in the real estate courts, and he has good relationships with the judges.
My question's okay.
So we
I did good.
have a lot of faith. We have a lot of faith in the guidance that he's given us. The unfortunate part of it is this partition agreement is unlike any other that anybody has ever tried before. So there's still some speculation as to how the judge will rule in certain cases, but our lead attorney is a very experienced guy in this field.
Thank you.
Okay, can we unmute Moto G7?
I've asked them to unmute. They have to do that. I can't do it.
Moto G7,
Moto
can you unmute?
G7 Power, please
Mute.
hit under your audio, hit the unmute down there. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
All right.
let's go on.
Afraid we're gonna have to proceed.
Call the vote.
All right, no other questions from the owners or the board?
There's
Tim.
another question.
Tim, can you,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes, we can hear you.
I just want to say, first of all, I'm kind of an outsider on this, you know, and have been thrust into this situation. And I'm also, I serve on the condo board here in New York. So to the entire board, I commend you in everything that you've been dealing with, because it's a lot. As an outsider looking at this, my curiosity is if this individual who also owns units in Hammond, the buyer, Mike Stacy, why would he not want to wait for this whole thing to move to what the previous person said, a fire sale where he could get the building for a song? Why would he want to pay what is currently a 12 million valuation? Whereas if he waited or pulled out and just waited for it to come down the road, why would he not want to do that?
I can't answer for Mike Stacy, but here's some of the things that are going on. I'm working on a reevaluation of the building. We have a $9.8 million appraisal of the building right now. We don't think that appraisal comprehended all the things that have been done to the building, and I'm working with Colliers, our appraiser, to get that appraisal at the right value. The other thing is that there were other people who were interested in the building, not at the $12 million price, but there were other people that we worked with our realtor on that were interested in it. But as we've discussed in previous meetings, our consent to sell would not allow us to sell the building for less than $11 million. And those people, although they were interested in it, they weren't interested in it at more than 11. So there is some other interest out there that Mike might not want to compete with. I mean, he has first right of refusal as an owner.
Any last comments before we take a vote? Okay. All right, Gil, call the question. All those in favor of accepting the PSA? I
Randy,
don't know
are
whether
you?
frozen.
Yeah, I think it's 7-0.
7-0.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I think that's the only order of business. So we'll adjourn. We should have a short executive meeting just to see how we proceed with the PSA.
If there's anything we need to talk about the PSA, we can talk about it right now.
Fine. Okay.
We should.
Then we can do that, which is, has everybody read the PSA that I sent around that has all the changes accepted? I think there was a few grammatical mistakes. Anything, any other comments by anybody? Randy?
I suppose, John, as president, you are the one that would sign this. Is that correct? When will you do that?
Well, we'll get to Mike, make sure the minor changes are okay. I'll sign it as soon as we get approval on this
From who?
from Mike. I'll send it to Mike. I'll send it to Mike right now. I mean, I can wait an hour or two, but if not, I can just send it. It's up to everybody's. I haven't heard any comments on the edited version I sent around. I would appreciate everybody's making sure that the version I sent around is what we should send to Mike.
Isn't it the version he sent to us?
No, the version sent to, the last version we got from John Deeds was around May 5th. And from there, we've gone back and forth to track changes and remove edits. There's some last edits that are merely grammatical that shouldn't be a problem for any member of the board or for Mike. But if you want, I can send it around.
Yeah, the changes were grammatical and minor. So can't we
Yes.
just go ahead and sign it and send it?
Yeah, we've approved it.
Right.
Sign it and send it on.
That's fine. I hadn't heard any word from
Okay.
anybody about that edited version. I can accept that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'll send it on to Mike right now.
Perfect.
Good day.
All right.
We're moving forward.
Okay.
There is a hand up, John. I don't know.
I don't see a hand.
No,
up.
I was just giving you my thumbs up for getting this done.
Oh, a thumb was up, not a hand. Okay.
It's been a long road, so kudos to this entire board. It has been every day, all day. This has been a ton of work. So
And it may
It's-
still be a ton of work.
right,
Not,
right,
hopefully not like it was.
right.
Well, one thing that we did do is we do have to get a timeline out. People could, that as we did with the previous ACM contract, we had what takes place, at what time does each of the periods start, what time each of the period ends, so people can have that. And can we unmute Mary Merriman?
Going to say, if you sign that today or this week, are you then saying it won't really be official or sold or whatever till January? And then which case do we start thinking about any money, any relief we get? When does the HOA stop? If you sign it today, when does our HOA stop? When does the taxes stop? And when is there going to be any distribution of money? And is that 8 months out? Is the HOA immediately for June? Can you help me out with some of that?
Sure. Well, first of all, the date when the PSA is effective is when Mike signs it also, which I assume will be today, tomorrow. 2 is on the timeline. What we reviewed was possible periods. It's possible that it could be, as other members of the board have mentioned, the entitlement period could take less time. The closing could take less time. There is the outside chance that the entitlement period can take 180 days and the closing could take 60 days. Mike has clearly expressed he'd like to do it in a shorter time period.
John,
Nope.
what I heard, Mary, I wrote some notes down. The HOA will stop, it's my understanding, when we close. Is
Yeah.
that correct, guys?
Yes.
That's right.
And the taxes will stop when we close.
That's
Actually,
So
we still
hold
have
on.
the Porter case.
Right.
Until the Porter case closes, and I think that's in the PSA, one section, one aspect, we don't own the building anymore. And once the PSA is signed, then fees stop. But the association
I'm s-
may continue if we can't settle the Porter lawsuit.
Right.
That's correct. That's right. Thank you for that.
No problem.
The HOA owning the building will stop, but the HOA will continue until the litigation is fully resolved.
Correct.
The taxes will stop at the closing. And the distribution of funds, my understanding, again, folks, tell me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
the distribution for the sale will occur right then.
Correct.
It depends upon if the Porter lawsuit is resolved by then. If it's
No,
not,
so a portion of the funds, will be held back based upon the judgment of what our attorneys think should be if this lawsuit isn't settled. But the rest of the funds from the sale will be distributed the day of the closing.
Well,
By the
'cause
title
we've got
company.
two sets of funds here. We've got the current funds from the insurance and our reserves operating.
Correct.
And then
Mhm.
the other side, we've got the sale. So
Correct.
I believe the sale funds will get distributed.
Yeah.
All those other funds, we have to make a decision on when those get distributed based on the litigation status.
That's correct.
Correct. So we're still working through that. I sent something out 2 nights ago about that. I know everyone's been busy. We need to talk through that.
We do.
and I think, Tracy, what you're referring to is the possibility of whether we could distribute funds before a sale closes.
Correct. So just for owner's sake, once we started going through the PSA and we were looking at the timetables, I posed the question of distributing a portion of the reserves now to owners. I met with our legal team. I met with a few of us from the board and talked to them about that. It is possible that we can do that. I drafted some scenarios, I sent around to the board a few nights ago to look at what that would entail. It would be an extra ton of work. However, this would, relieve a lot of financial burdens on the owners on the building. And so when we make that decision and put the logistic process in place, that could result in the majority of those reserve insurance funds being distributed. And therefore, since we're talking about January, potentially for the closing, then to Gil's point, that will be the $12 million distribution, which will happen the day of the closing.
Okay, Tim?
I just want to add a little bit to what Tracy said there, because it is a complicated issue, because there are mortgage companies involved, and they have the first right to any funds that are distributed to the owners. So it's not as easy as just saying we're going to give the money out. It's
Right.
a complicated process because there are mortgage companies involved that are in the middle.
Right. And there's not only, to Tim's point, not only mortgages, but then delinquency of fees as well. And so I drafted a few scenarios around how we solve for those nuances to come up with a plan that is possible and feasible to execute on a lot sooner than waiting for a sale.
Okay.
Joe,
Motion to adjourn.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.